Run to the Jordan.
Beach Boys, man. Welcome to the Blood Brothers podcast. I'm Enoch Maurice.
James Alchemy Jr.
I want to start this thing off with a prayer.
Hold it down, bro.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this moment. We thank you for this opportunity. Use us right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
So we like to, before we get into anything, let people know why we're here. So what's the mission statement?
The mission statement is to empower men to take their rightful place in society under God's law. Consequently, women and children will get the knowledge they need to understand what a real man is supposed to be and conduct themselves.
Very
Of course,
important.
man.
So today, last week we talked about emotions. That was very key.
Mm-hmm.
So today we kind of want to keep moving on that into another topic where it's kind of where it's double topic, but in one. Like get into self-discipline, accountability, things like that. So from your perspective, where would you say we would start with that?
If we had to structure it from a point of I guess just practical reasoning, just how we would go about things in our mind, I would say let's start off with accountability, but not specifically that. Let's deal with the mental, emotional, and physical perspective of being accountable for your actions, your thoughts, and your decision makings, pretty much. Self-discipline, that'll be a focus point. Being responsible, that'll be another one, and definitely integrity.
That's
I
a
like
big
that
one.
That's a big one. So I think those would be, fall under the umbrella of accountability. And I think we should touch each one of them because, I mean, truth of the matter is they all are a significant role in our existence.
Yeah, you can't really touch one without the other.
That's a fact. They definitely, it's like your right hand, your left hand. They go like this together. You feel me? But let me see. So let's get into. Let's start with self-discipline. When I think of self-discipline, I think the first thing that comes to my mind personally is physical self-discipline.
Of course.
I don't know, that I got to get my beach bod right. Or, the dudes, I got to get my weight up, or the ladies, I got to lose my weight. Whatever it is you understand, the self-discipline you need to accomplish that. And I think that a lot of people lack self-discipline. And I don't really know what it's rooted in or where it comes from, because I've never been that kind of person. I've always been pretty disciplined in certain areas of my life. So maybe I do understand. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Now I think about it, I do understand. I think I've been so far removed from it because I'd be so focused on accomplishing it and mastering it that maybe I just had a little mental lapse. But what's your perspective on it?
Self-discipline, I think one of the main reasons why people lack self-discipline is why you can't go without it, accountability. Because if no one's holding you accountable for anything, it's like, well, like New Year's. And I say, everybody going to the gym. Everybody go to the gym. And then it's like,
2 days.
Ain't nobody really checking, so I'm not going to go.
Ain't no logging.
I ain't gonna go no more. Like you keep going, but then I feel like self-discipline also comes from routine. When something becomes routine, it comes automatically, and then it just becomes a discipline where it's like I can't move it out. Like, how we used to go to the gym every day all the time. It was like, bro, I don't feel like going, but you're gonna go because it's just in you. So there's no really getting out of it. So if someone was to ask me like, yo, how do you build self-discipline? Consistency. Being very consistent to what you said you was going to do. And this is one of the best quotes I've heard from Inky Johnson that I use on every boy.
That's the homie.
Boy.
That's the homie. Look up Inky Johnson if y'all never heard of him.
Facts. The quote he uses all the time is, stay true to what you said you was going to do, even if the mood that you said it in is gone.
Ooh,
bro.
That's
so
tough.
When you hear that, it's
tough.
Like that's the ultimate accountability right there. Cause it's like, what? Like for an example, today, I'll be very practical. Over the week, my wife was like, "Yo, Saturday, we gonna go clean up the hallways, get the walls and all that before we start painting. So I was like, all right, yeah, bet. Saturday came. I woke up, did not feel like doing it. Did not feel like doing it. But I'm so accountable because I said it, I have to do it, whether I feel like it or not. So no matter what, she said we got to do. I said during the week, yeah, we gonna clean up the walls and all that to get ready for paint. No matter how I feel, I said I was gonna do it. Off the fact that just because I said it, I'm gonna go do it, no matter if I feel like it or not. And that's that. Now having that's cool, right? But people that don't have that mindset, how do they get that?
I'll tell you this. This is a good piggyback to what we were talking about last week. What I was talking about, trust people's patterns, building patterns that are conducive to your goals. So, if I'm saying I want to be a man of my word, which is basically what you're saying, you want to be a man of your word, right?
That integrity.
That means that means that I'm gonna make sure I'm doing it regardless of any circumstance. So that means if you tell your wife, yo, we're gonna clean up the garage, then we're gonna clean up the garage. That means that if you tell somebody, hey, listen, I got a pen for you, I'm gonna bring it to you today. I'm gonna bring it to you today. That means if you tell your child, guess what, yo, in an hour we're gonna go shoot some hoops, you're gonna do it regardless. If you feel like having that type of consistency in your mind and your mental state will build that self-discipline. So it'll start applying to everything. So what it really starts at is with doing the little things, the things that don't seem like they mean a lot, but
I call that little wins.
They do. Yeah, I like that. Exactly, hitting singles before you get a home run, that type of mentality.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Even with me, right? I have a thing. If I promise you, that means it's definite. So my family, they know that they really want to get me to do something. They tell me, like, you promise? I'm like,
especially Cam. That you said you promised.
especially Cam, especially my wife. Okay? But see me, because I do hold myself to those same standards. If I say I'm gonna do something and I don't know when I'm gonna do it, I'll just be honest. Listen, I'm gonna do it, but I don't know when I'm gonna do it. So if you want it done, do it yourself. But it's more of a way to protect the fact that I really don't know when I'm gonna do it. So I don't want to say something and then not do it, and then I'm a liar. You get what I mean? Because honestly, what it comes down to is being a liar. If I say I'm gonna do something, I don't do it. What are you? You're a liar. That's it. There's no middle for that.
That standard thing. Let's stay on that for a second. Because like I was saying that to you the other day, I was like, I think it's not lowering your standards. It's like, you know how you hold yourself to a certain standard?
Yeah.
You kind of automatically have that standard for other people. And when they don't live up to that, it kind of really upsets you.
It does.
Like, for an example, we had a guy that was supposed to do some work outside of the house. He said he was going to come at a certain time. So let's say he said he was going to come at 12. He doesn't come till 2 o'clock. Okay. So now I'm upset about it. I'm like, yo, if you said you're going to come at 12, why are you coming at 2? And he comes like, yeah, I got held up. But I'm not even on the you got held up. You told me a certain time, but you're not here. And then it's like, and I'm telling my wife, like, yo, am I being too hard on him because of how I would handle, like, I would call you, let you know, like, yo, I can't make it, or
exactly. I mean, that's the difference. The communication.
Yeah. That's like that difference. Bothers me. That bothers me so much.
Listen, the fact that you apply it to everything, it just shows your maturation of your mind. Because I mean, look, if you really want to get technical, if you consistently say things and don't do them, eventually you're not trustworthy. Which goes back to what we've been saying the whole time. So, all right. So if you are constantly saying every day is a new slate of trust, and I want to earn your trust every day, that means that everything that I say, I'm going to hold myself accountable for it, and I'm going to be disciplined enough to keep my word, unless something happens. But if something happens, I'm on the line. Yo, listen, I know what I said, but I can't make it, or whatever the case is. But some people just don't see it like that. I'm too often, and this is not a podcast just for men.
Yeah, this is everybody.
This is everybody. This is just in general. Too often people say things unconsciously of what they're prescribing, or what they're what the intent that they really mean. So you say, I wanna lose 20 pounds, right? That's your goal, right? And you say it, like you said, in a good mind frame where you're like, yeah, I'm ready to do it, blah blah blah, right? But you allow life's currencies to just throw you off your word. And there's one thing that I'm so adamant about, is being a man of your word. Always. Be a man that if I say it, take it to the bank. You know what I mean? Cash that check. Because you got, like, I don't ever say things without thought. So when I say I don't know when I'm gonna do it, that came from a real thought in my mind. I thought about it. I really thought about it. Like, do I really want to say yes to this? Do I really want to do this? And I think what ripple effect of it too is people don't know how to say no. Right? And they're scared to offend people. And I started to realize too, straightforward conversations oftentimes it offends people.
Yeah, that's true.
And I didn't know that. Like, I thought that just being a straight shooter, it was a healthy prescription for a relationship. But the more I started to interact with people and deal with different types of relations, I realized I'm like, I can't be so direct where to the point they get offended, because now I feel like maybe I'm doing something wrong, but at the same time I don't really know how else to communicate effectively, right? And when I think of being disciplined, I mean, how much more disciplined do you want somebody to be than somebody that's going to be just straight honest with you? Right? Like, regardless of the situation, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like, if I care about you, I'm going to tell you the truth. And even if I don't care about you, I'm probably still going to tell you the truth, just because I hold myself to a standard where it's like, I don't want to be a liar. So in order for me to have that part of my life be disciplined, I have to consistently tell the truth.
I think that also comes from actually caring about your name. Like,
that's true.
Like, having integrity is more just because it sounds good. I'm a man of my word. Like, I am who I am. Like, my name means something to me. So if I say something, it's not even that much about you. I mean, it's because I said it. So I have to live up to it. And a lot of people are okay with not having discipline in the area. Like, I feel like you need that across the board. Like, when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to work, like, even like when it comes to work, if I say I'm going to be at work, I'm going to be there. If I'm going to be there at a certain time, I'm going to be there. Like, even, and I feel like once you're not disciplined in a certain area, that could trickle down to other things. Like, if you're not disciplined in, if you say, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock every day, and you're not disciplined in that, the minute you start saying, that's all right, that'll add to something else. Because then it'll be like, I'm not going to cheat on my girl. A girl come by that look eye, he'd be like, I mean, see, so it's like, I gotta make sure I'm on top of everything. I'm saying, that's why I was like, I gotta be disciplined. I gotta hold myself accountable to everything that I do, because if I don't, then there's other areas I'm gonna slip. And I think that's what people don't really realize. Like, it's like, yeah, I could cheat on my diet. I don't gotta really work out like that. But what does that happen? Like, I always heard in sports, like, don't quit a sport because it'll carry you later in life. I would hear it, but I never was a quitter. But it's like, that makes sense, because like, I'm gonna talk about my wife. She'll tell you in quick. She was like, her mom used to let her quit sports. So her consistency growing up was off at first. She knew that was something she had to work on, because when she was younger, she would play a sport and she would quit. And it's like, wow, like, from a child, like, with my son, if he joins something, he's gonna finish it through. You don't have to do it next year if you don't want to do it no more. But if you start something, you gotta finish it. And that's what I feel like a lot of people, that it's almost like you don't realize how much of your adulthood comes from your childhood. Like, we think childhood is so, when you get older, he'll understand. Nah. You start from when you're a child. You start quitting sports. Every sport you play, anything that you do, any instrument that you play, it's gonna be that much easier to quit later on in life. Like, that's why I could never. I feel like that's where my discipline and my accountability comes from. Because especially in sports, if you don't quit, you gotta show up. Like, if you're there, you gotta show up.
Yep.
And that trickles down to everything. But the minute you say, "No, I'm good," like, that'll just trickle to everything else, bro. And I started realizing
it's called the loser's mentality.
Losers lose.
You have a loser's mentality. But on a note, I think obviously a lot of things that mold our perspective is obviously biblically based. Even though we don't always say it, we're really talking biblical things. Don't express it like that, because a lot of people, when you start talking like that, they think, oh, you this and that. It's like, no, it has nothing it has nothing to do with that. There's a lot of principles in the Bible that apply to regular life that you can use and utilize to be a better person. And there's one thing that I always remember is, things that are in the kingdom that you speak have to be tested. So if you say it, gonna be tested. So that goes back to doing things when you don't feel like doing them. And the fact that I know that when I say things they're gonna be tested, it prepares me. So if I say it, I'm already in my mind. I'm already there.
Yeah, I'm there.
By the time I said it,
I already went through it.
The emotions of it, I might, it might, throw you off for a loop. But for the most part, the goal is in mind. And then you just take whatever comes along with it. So if I say I'm going to get married, right, until death do us part, I already know the goal. The end goal is to do us part. Whatever comes along with it, I'm okay with. I'll go through the process of doing it. And I think that's why even, and this even goes into the divorce rates. This goes into people committing suicide. This goes into that mental stability to understand, like, if you can't trust yourself to be accountable to yourself, like, forget, like you said, forget the fact that it's you. If you can't respect your name, like, listen, at the end of the day, regardless of all of this, my name is my name. I want that to have weight to it. I want to have respect behind it. So if and it goes back even in parenting, you think about it. It's like, by the time I speak to my sons and tell them something, they're already seeing how I'm living my life. So it's very simple to talk. Hey, Cam, do me a favor, right? When you get a girlfriend, you take her serious, you respect her, right? You treat her and yourself with respect and integrity, right? And do me a favor, hold off on sex until you get married, right? Right? That's something I'm very confident.
We got to get into that one.
Everybody always, when I say it, they, oh yeah, but he's gonna have to experience. Actually, he doesn't, because I can teach him from my mistakes, and a wise person learns from others' mistakes. I hate when people are like, oh, trial and error. No, trial and error. Okay, trial and error just means that you lack discipline in a certain area. That's all it is. Like, you lack discipline, you tried it and you failed. Right. And then they're like, oh, I learned from it though. Listen, if somebody could have told me that, yo, right, hold yourself still, keep to yourself, and wait for the right woman, right? I wish somebody would have had that conversation with me and would have explained to me that, listen, there's so many other things that can come from that are positive, and especially mentally, the memories that you have and the experience that you'll have with your wife. Nobody ever had that conversation. So when I look at it, it's like, I had to do the trial and error thing. All right, fine. But at the same time, I don't want my kids to make the same mistakes I did. So maybe if I do have that conversation with them and based off of my lifestyle, and he sees how his father conducts himself, now that conversation has meaning behind it. Like, that isn't just talking to me. Nah, he lived that talk. It's not thing where, you know, my dad's saying it, but I see him doing this and I see him doing that. No, that's not how it works. And one thing that I really like that you said was, you know, when you said, you know, my name for my namesake, that if that's not, listen, I don't know how many people are biblical, but if that's not biblical, like,
it gotta be for real.
You hit it, because honestly, think about it. If God was a liar, right, he wouldn't care to speak his truth, right? Realistically, because what is good? What is it good if you're gonna speak and be a liar? Like, you might just hold your breath, right? So being one with your word is probably the most divine mental state you could be in. I mean, right? To know that if my brother tells me, yo, I got your back, and I don't gotta question it. Right? That means something to me. Now when it comes down to everything, I know I can trust you. So if I'm like, yo, let's start this podcast, I can trust you. Yo, let's go travel the world. Let's get these conferences. I can trust you. Yo, I can trust you.
It's almost, that's when you say, even though, like, you know how, like, you say every day I'm earning your trust, right? I feel like that depends on the person. Cause like, for me, I don't have to question you because of your character. So it's like, I don't really go around saying like, I'm trying to earn your trust, because I know I'm not going to change my character. If your character is the same and you've been consistent of who you are, I'm going to believe you.
That's true.
I mean, but even still, in a sense, you can still do one thing that can change it. But off of your character and your consistency and your self-discipline and your accountability, that's where you don't really have to question. But there's some people like you have to question, like, nah, I'm watching you every step, boy, because I don't really know what you want.
I don't think I meant it in the sense of like, what's the best way to put it? Like, when I say earn, I don't mean like going out your way to earn it, right? I think what you're saying is completely accurate to the description I'm trying to say is basically, my character won't change. So every day, my decisions you can trust.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. But why I say earn it is because those decisions that I'm making are conscious decisions. You get what I'm saying? They're not subconsciously, like, put it like this. When I think of it, like, my heart, it pumps blood subconsciously. But my mind, I have to focus on making the decision. So through my focus in my mind and my mental state and my consistency, to be able to focus enough to make the same decision, the right decision every time, I feel like that's where I earn your trust. But like you said, it has to do with your character. If your character is intact, then obviously your decisions are going to align with your character, which makes you a man of your word.
Exactly. I want to go back to something real quick that you said. I don't want to jump past that. The sex thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's get into that. So you would say you had a time where you was abstinent, right?
Yeah, I was abstinent for 9 months.
Okay.
No, nothing. No, when I say nothing, there was zero, zilch, dry, desert. I thought it didn't work no more. You feel me?
Now, out that 9 months, what would you say you took away from that?
What it did was, it taught me that I didn't need to give myself away to, I don't want to say be loved, but it's more, because I loved myself. So it's not a love thing. I wasn't insecure in that aspect of it. But what it taught me is that I could discipline myself enough to have a wife. Right?
Yep.
I needed to know that if me and my wife got on some rocky times, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? That if we couldn't have sex, I wouldn't lose my focus, right? And through that process, you know, it's hard in the beginning, but as you start going through the process, you start to get in tune with your body and what really stimulates your body. And majority of the time, people don't realize it. sex is actually started in the mind. It's the thoughts. It's the thought of it. Your body reacts to your thoughts, which is fine. But the thing about it is, you want to be able to be so disciplined in your thoughts that the only thing that's going to trigger your body is the thought of your wife, right? So what it did was it allowed me to see, like, I can resist anything. Because think about it, I had free reign at that point. I could have had whatever. That's when I had my own apartment. I was, you know what I mean? I was chilling. I could have really did what I wanted.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I'm like, listen, if I'm gonna be the man that I want to be, my self-discipline has to be at a point where I don't even have to question myself. And I think once I established that, it made it so much easier for me to be loyal and faithful to one woman. So that's what that really was about, you know, being able to accomplish that it was great for me.
I had to go through the same thing, but I did it within a relationship.
Yeah, you was bugging. Straight like that. If you want me to tell you,
it was rough.
You was bugging.
It was rough. With my current wife now, I say current like I had one before.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
no.
All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah,
go ahead,
because you gotta understand, before that relationship, I was active.
You was getting busy.
Yeah, you know, he was getting busy. Let's just say I was active. I'm saying, I'll be fully transparent here. So, me stepping into a relationship where it's like she had standards to where that at a level that I didn't. You don't see that. You don't really see that.
You didn't have it.
Yeah. So it was a time where I had to really reflect at myself, like, yo, where are you? Like, if this is the woman you want to be with, I'm be honest. Once I met her, I was like, yo, she's the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember the story. I remember.
So
you tell me all the time.
When I see, like, now I'm so thankful that I went through that experience. Yeah. Because what I learned through that, when people tell me like, nah, I don't think bro, when I tell you that taught me so much about myself, that taught me that I can control my body. You know what I'm saying? I can be faithful to one person without having sex with them. Because a lot of relationships are mainly soul ties, where they're together just because they're having sex. So with me and my wife, we got to build for a whole year. A whole year of not having sex.
You couldn't wait. I'm not gonna front. You probably couldn't wait for her to walk down that aisle.
What? Mind you, all the years from before her, I haven't gone 6 months without having, not even like a month without having sex. For her to push me to that year, and it was like, nothing can break us now because we building over a year.
That's right.
Without having sex. We know each other. We have to talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
you don't got nothing else to do.
But you know what I'm saying? So so if we get married and we, like, for an example, when we had our second child, she had another C-section. She had 2 C-sections, and she was going through a lot at that time. We'll get into depth in that one of these podcasts. But it was it was a really rough time, and sex wasn't really an option. So it's like, some people was like, yo, we started having sex. How are we just gonna stop having sex now? So now you don't have that self-discipline. I had that discipline to where I'm not gonna be out here running the streets like, yo, my wife ain't give me no. She my wife. She's supposed to give me some. Like, that's in the Bible, right?
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
That's in the Bible, right? Like,
shut up.
That's my wife. She's supposed to give me some. But I wasn't knowing that because I had that self-discipline. Like, our relationship ain't built off sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the consequence of having a good relationship that builds the sex. That not just having sex. The fact that your relationship was so
solid,
it was so organic.
Foundation was strong. And I say that to say this, like, a lot of females might get upset with this, but I gotta be real. I want you to ask yourself, the man that broke your heart, cheated on you, played you, yeah, it hurt. But would it hurt as bad if you didn't give yourself to him and have sex with him.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's where a lot of the hurt come from.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Because women, they give themselves to you. And then you play them. So like when I have a woman here that's like, and it's never too late, woman, to just be absent and stop having sex. Like you trying to find a man, if you feel like I gotta tell y'all game, man, because I'm tired of seeing this. If you feel like you have to have sex with your man for him to stay, you need to leave. Point blank, period. I don't care who gets upset, dudes, y'all want to get tight, whatever. Nah, not everybody on that. No. If he loves you for you, and you decide, I don't want to have sex anymore until we're married or until you put whatever, if you hold yourself to that standard and he can't live up to that, you're dodging a bullet.
True.
Because that shows where he is.
Mentally.
Exactly. So I'm not saying it's easier for women to not have sex. I know we all have hormones. But if you really want to get married, it took me a year to marry my wife. It took me a year. Some people been dating for 15 years. And I've asked some situations where they're
right now.
Nah, bro, like we gotta change this.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Nah, bro, like how can you expect a man to marry you when you've given him everything that he gets in a marriage? If you're cooking for him, cleaning for him, having sex with him, living with him.
Wife privileges, or what is it? With husband? No, yeah, the wifey privileges. You know, the man receives the wife privileges. Yeah, I get you.
So how I always say we gotta hold ourselves accountable for how we treated women. You gotta hold yourself accountable for how you letting a man treat you. If you giving him everything and you're getting upset that he won't marry you, and you're giving him everything in a marriage, how can you
complain? How can you complain?
You go ahead, man, because I'm gonna go off.
All right, so here's the thing.
I'm gonna go here, right?
Here's the thing with women, right? And I'm like one day one of our missions have to be to do a seminar for young women. And like teenage girls and of course we'll have other women there with us, but I think they need to hear from a male's perspective how men view women and how and what standards they should have as young ladies. Not saying that women aren't doing it, but it's just totally different when a man is telling you, listen, you're beautiful, you're intelligent. Keep yourself for yourself into the person, not earn it in the sense of y'all date for a little while. No, to the point where he goes, I need you to be my wife. I want to be with you forever. That has to be your goal. And I think that dialogue in this current climate just doesn't happen. Definitely not for men. You're never gonna. It's rare that you're ever gonna hear a man come to a woman and go, "Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I want to get busy with you right now, but I have so much respect for you that I'm not gonna do it." That's not gonna happen.
And I'm gonna be 100% honest. With me and my wife, we loved each other so deeply. She almost felt like, you know what, I'm ready to do it. And I built so much self-discipline. I'm like, nah, we came this far. Nah, we can't. And that surprised me when I said it. It was like, what? Like,
yeah,
that's real.
You just surprised me that you said it too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, bro.
I understand. Nah, listen, I completely understand. But I think that when it comes to women, right, and especially once puberty kicks in, and I think it's important that they understand their value, right? That's really what it comes down to. You need to understand how beautiful you are. You need to understand that you're royalty. You have to understand that you're made in the image of God. You have to understand that your body is a temple. That covenant, that blood covenant, because that's what it is. It's a blood covenant that you bless a man with, because that's what it is. A blessing to have a woman who has that covenant, which all women have naturally. Right? It has to be given strictly to your husband. Realistically, there's no need for you to put yourself out there. The difference between men and women is this: we enter in, right? We're outwards. you guys are inwards. Not saying that we don't have a soul tie, but a lot of times you have to remember, men can go in and out, in and out, in and out. Women, when you let him in, he stays in there. As much as you know they don't want to see it from that perspective, or maybe they do, they just don't want to admit it. Once you let a man inside of you, he's in there for life. Right?
Yeah.
So if not virginity or being a virgin, you should keep your numbers very low.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I can't say that every person's gonna hold their virginity to that, right? I'm being realistic about it. Not everybody's gonna do it.
Exactly.
Fine.
Especially in our age group, like.
Of course, I'm not even gonna say, I'm not gonna knock you. Like, I'm not gonna, yo, you wildin'. No.
Yeah.
But your number should be so limited to the point where it's a respectable thought. Like, when you say it, you should. I'm not gonna say it with pride, but if it's not, I'm a virgin, it should just be so low that it's like, you might as well, you should have just waited, because that wasn't even worth the count. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think that the real issue, it's a lot of misconceptions about where men have standards and where women have standards, right? And for men, we have to hold each other accountable, right? But for women, even if the man's not holding himself accountable, just hold yourself up there. Eventually, he'll just fall off, right? That's just the truth. Like, listen,
stop saying men do it all the time. No,
listen,
it's different. It's different.
No, it's different. It's different because this, right? Honestly, those men don't have respect for themselves, and we're not speaking from men that weren't in that mind frame. We're telling you
because we was.
Like, exactly. I'm telling you the truth, that I didn't have respect for myself when I was in and out, while and doing dumb. I didn't. There's no way I could have respected myself doing that, because who would think that giving yourself to all these different people, how is that respecting yourself? Respecting yourself is holding yourself accountable to yourself whole. Your body temple. You want to protect it at all costs. Right? So when I think about women and young ladies who do experience heartache, and guys do what they do, I would encourage you to really sit down and realize that, like you said, if you don't give yourself to them, at the end of the day, whether they come, whether they go, they didn't leave with anything.
Exactly.
Right? The minute you give them something, they leave with it, and you hurt.
So, bad.
And that goes back to your self-discipline, being able to really discipline your body to say, hey, listen, I'm gonna control my mind, and my body is gonna be affected by that. The best way I could think of it is, have your mind serve you. You don't serve your mind. So every thought that comes in your head is going to be a good thought, but you should override it with good thoughts. So they say for every one negative statement that you hear, you have to hear a positive statement 7 times for it to wash out. So do the math. Think about how many negative things that you listen to, that you ugly, you're dumb, or you listen, I'm trapping, I'm banging, I'm da-da-da. And it's like, look, you have to detox your brain so that way mentally your self-discipline can take true and be your foundational thoughts of who you are. And women, like I said, we're rooting for you guys.
Yeah, for real. Like, for real.
Out of all the dudes, I gotta say, we're probably rooting for y'all more than anybody.
For real.
Because I'm seeing way too many good women just single. And I'm just like, geez. And I'm looking at the potential out here, and I'm looking at the guys, and I'm like, you know what? Stay single.
I see why you're single. Stay single. I see why you're single.
Stay single. Just keep your legs closed. Just stay single, though.
For real.
I feel bad for you. And when I tell you the variety, it starts from about 25. I see some, no offense, but there's some crusty 50-year-olds still don't got their brain together. You be like, hold on a second, bro. Yeah. You're telling me you're 50 years old, you don't own no property, you don't have no wife, and you don't have a job or car?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I think this conversation is pretty much over. But
they lost their integrity a long time ago. They don't have self-discipline. They don't know how to handle responsibilities.
That's
all of that leads into where you at right now. Like, it's like, even with me, it's hard for me to even blame people for stuff that I know it's their fault. Like, like even if I know it's your fault, like it's hard for me to even blame you. That's how much I hold myself to a higher standards. Like, no, the fact that I was involved, like, is my fault.
I should have known better. I should have known better.
I should have known better than to pick
better.
you. I should have known better than to say, nah, I think you do a good job. Like, yeah, you. I take blame for that because I picked you at the end of the day.
Oh. Boy said, you mess up, I'm gonna blame myself. That's
it's like, yo, bro, like I'm not even gonna
I should have known better.
I should have known better. Like, for real.
That's true though.
But when you hold yourself to that, it's very hard for you to not end up on the right path.
Yeah.
Or go in the right direction.
It's easy.
I'm saying? Like,
it's organic.
Exactly. My thing is, I don't want nothing outside of God to control me.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I, like, January, I took a real serious fast, like, with food. I don't want food control. I don't want meat controlling me. Like, with my wife, when we didn't have sex, I didn't want sex controlling me. You know what I'm saying? So, everything, that's why in the beginning, when I say my prayer, God uses, I really mean that. Like, like, it's not my will, it's your will. Your will be done. Like, I don't want nothing outside of God, because at the end of the day, God put us here for a reason, right?
100% true.
And it's our job to follow the path that he has for us. Like,
facts.
Of course we can go out our way and do our own thing, but it's like, whatever it is you have for me, I want you to lead me to do that. Because obviously it's going to lead me to where I'm supposed to go.
That's facts.
And that comes with also self-discipline.
That's
you know what I'm saying? All of that ties together.
You know what? And the fact that you're saying that actually is a great transition into integrity, because people do things privately, right? And they think they get away with it. Listen.
Yo.
Listen.
Boy.
Listen.
Boy.
I'm not even gonna go in OD, but look. All right. If you're a man and you have a family, let's not. All right, I'm not even gonna say.
Nah, if you got go in, bro. Go in.
Right, if you're not even married, all right, let's not even say you're married. Let's just say you have a child with a woman, okay, and y'all are in a relationship, okay, and you're out here playing house, right, without making it official, right. Your integrity is in question. Why? Because you know what's right, but you won't do it, right? You're letting your perspective.
You going there?
Look, you're letting your perspective of what you think is right, right, override what God says is right. And the minute you start living like that, there's nothing good that can come from that. You know, I'm big on Law and Order, and I don't mean the show. Like,
facts.
Like God has laws, and then he has consequences, right? And people think of consequences as a bad thing. It's not always bad. Because guess what? If you follow the laws, there are good consequences that come, right? I say law and order, I'm basically showing how you're supposed to live your life with integrity, doing things the right way when no one is looking, right? And there are good consequences from that, right? Judge a man by his fruit. You don't get potent fruit from that tree, which is your body, which is your mind, if your integrity is in question, right? The minute I have to question your integrity, at that point, I honestly don't want to be your friend. It's because you'll never have to question my integrity. Never, right? And people are like, oh, I'll never say never. No, never. Because of how I hold myself to a certain standard. And I don't surround myself with people who don't hold themselves to these standards. So guess what? When you're in violation of integrity, I automatically go, please go about your life. And people think it's mean. And it's like, no, it's not that it's mean. It's just that my standards of living is above yours. I'm calling it what it is. That's what it is. And I prefer to choose the people in my life that live by these standards. Now, I'm not telling you how to live your life. Live it how you want it, right? But just understand something. When I tell you nothing goes unseen, God just sits there and watches you like this. You don't think he knows? Right? And this even goes for the dudes that are married. and you're on Instagram, right? And you know the Insta porn, you know these girls that be just putting everything out there.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
right, the guys that are watching porn and idolizing and fantasizing over different women. You're violating your relationship.
Yeah.
You're violating, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have anything on your mind. I'm not saying that it's easy. Don't misconstrue what
Exactly.
saying,
Exactly.
right? But trust me, if you discipline yourself enough, those things don't even pop into your mind. It's almost like you don't really have a temptation for other women.
Yeah.
Because your discipline is so grounded in the core of your being.
Exactly.
That by nature, even if it's a beautiful woman, you'll go, oh, that's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I'm happy I love my wife. Life goes on. And that's the end of the thought.
Exactly.
Dudes that are going out their way to, yo, I can't wait to get that. Yo, she looks
exactly. That comes from being inconsistent, because sometimes you be like, nah, I'm good. And then sometimes like you got to build that self-discipline. Like you look, nah, I'm good. Keep going. You got to, every time it pops in, you got to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Never waver. You know what I'm saying? Never waver and compromise. I'm saying the minute you start compromising
your integrity, you're bugging. You're bugging.
That's a tough one. Once you start compromising, oh man, you going down a rabbit hole.
Bro, listen. I have friends, guys and girls, and I really feel for them. You know, tell me things because like I know it's in, right? But all times I do feel like it's not my place to say, yo, that's a dead end road. Even though I genuinely care about you and I want to be a straight shooter, right? At the end of the day, I still feel like there are boundaries that I wouldn't cross, right? Like in the sense of this. So I guess maybe it depends on the relationship. Yeah. So if it's me and you out of pocket, you're my man. You're out of pocket.
Yeah.
I can't play you that close no more, right? But if I don't have that relationship where I'm talking to you every day and I know you're out of pocket, I kind of just distance myself even more. Like, you know what I'm like, you know what?
I'm good.
I'm good off that. I don't think we on the same type of time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I think of men who do things in silence and quiet, and when they don't think nobody's looking, to me, that just means that you have and I don't want to say, when I say snake, I don't want to, because I'm a firm believer that the actual snake itself is a beautiful creature that God made. But I'm just using the analogy. You have snakish tendencies, right?
Yeah.
So back to your point of being consistent. If you're inconsistent or you have snakish ways with your woman, who means way more than me as your friend, right? How could I trust you as a friend? Right? Let's be honest, because your patterns are proving that you're inconsistent, which means that you're double-minded, which means that ultimately I can't trust you.
Yeah, you'll violate me.
You will. Eventually it'll come. Somehow, somewhere, I don't know when.
It'll come. Yeah, you'll be tested. Yeah, it'll come there. Because you're not consistent. So it'll happen.
So it makes me think, like, when people have these premonitions, I call them, these thoughts of, I think I could get away with this, or I think I want to do this, even though I know I'm not supposed to. And you think you're doing it without anybody watching. That's probably your lowest point mentally, because the next part is the physical part. It just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like falling mentally is much more dangerous than falling physically. And matter of fact, they might go hand in hand. But when I say mentally, I'm just saying the fact that you allowed your mind to be that lost and lose that much focus and lack that much discipline, it just shows me that your faith wasn't in anything anyway. Right? You didn't have any standards of living. You were just selfish. You were inconsiderate. And you can never tell me that you loved your family.
Yeah.
You can never tell me that. Because if your actions don't prove it, then it doesn't exist.
Exactly. And I want people to understand, the reason we can say these things is because we've built self-discipline over the years to get to here. So we can speak on those things. It's not like, oh, we just so perfect. We know everything. No, we've built discipline. We've built integrity. I mean, we built handling responsibilities to where we're here. And we're telling you like, yo, this is where you want to be. It's not just, we just blowing smoke. Like, we understand. Like, it took discipline to be able to speak this way.
Yes.
It took 100%. That. It took integrity to be able to speak this way. To have that, because at the end of the day, we still have to come off this podcast and live.
Facts.
Our name still lives. It's not just this and then the world we don't live anymore.
It's fake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fake. Like a man by his fruit. You have to judge my fruit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this ain't just blowing smoke. We trying to tell. We want, at the end of the day, you heard I mentioned, at the end of the day, we want everybody to become better.
Yes.
And
100%.
if you're somebody that's listening to this right now and like, man, they think they don't know what they talking about. What? They bug. Then maybe you need to look at yourself and say, what is he saying that has me feeling that way?
Aggie.
I mean, what is there some truth to that? Like that's another way to build mental disciplines, is like to be able to check yourself and correct yourself. Like, maybe I'm bugging. Let me really take myself out of this and really listen to see where they're coming from. Like, maybe they talking some talk. Like, let me not just judge them off. They sound like they know what they're talking about. Like, maybe there's some validity to this. I mean, so
how about this? How about this too? You could even look at it like this. I always say, and this sounds crazy, when I go into business with people, right? I want to know how you treat your wife. I want to know your wife's opinion about you, right? And I know, it could be a little fabricated. Not everybody want to speak the truth, but eventually the truth will come to light.
Exactly.
If you're a garbage husband, the fruit you bear is going to be garbage. Period. And this goes for people, period. So if you're a man who, and this is, it's sad because I always look at it like, I get why people sell drugs to financially provide, if that's what they want to say, right? But that's not a good enough reason for you to risk not being around your kids, right? There's too many other ways that you can make money. So when I'm speaking about integrity, I think that we have to keep just to keep it in a proper context. I think that integrity is based off of moral judgment, moral characteristics. So truth of the matter is, our moral standards is what holds us to this standard of integrity, to responsibility, to self-discipline. It's our moral stance on life, right?
Quick thing on that. Stay right there. Hold your point. Like, our integrity is so strong. Like, even if we wasn't living this life, if me and you was drug dealers, we did a crime, because of our integrity now, we wouldn't snitch if we got in jail. Like, this holds all the way around. If we both get in trouble, I'm not snitching because I did it. My integrity won't let me snitch on you.
That's a fact. Period. Look, and this is why I always say this. I'm like, I know God orchestrated things for a reason. Because imagine if we had these principles and we was living a life of crime. Yo, bro, we would be so far off, you know what I mean? But it's just one of those kind of things where I'm just so grateful that he allowed us to reach a certain level, and he formed what he wanted us to do. And we had enough wits to go, you know what? I think he's right. I think he's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, because on this side of this type of mentality, it's so peaceful. It's so rejuvenating. I mean, it's far and few that you'll see us in bad moods.
Yeah, that's true.
It's rare. I mean, it's rare that I talk to you in a bad mood. I mean,
like even if it's something,
like,
we don't let things stay. Like, we don't give things that much time a day. If it's something quick, you're gonna let us bother. Yo, bro, That's it. Like,
Yeah,
you ain't gonna give you that much energy. Like
that's the truth. And it's like, when you think about it, it's all formulated in the moral capacity for you to understand what's right and what's wrong. Now, the validity of your standards, they can't be based off of your personal opinions. They have to be biblically driven. And it's not to say that, other things aren't right, but at the essence of a healthy mental and physical lifestyle, you have to structure your life around biblical scripture. You can't go away from it. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
Because it's like this. If I look at Jesus and the way he conducted himself, right? That is the essence of what a man is supposed to be.
Integrity, all of that. Bro.
His word was
self-discipline.
Everything.
Fasting for 40 days.
Listen, everything that you needed was right there. So there really is no excuse when you go, oh, I didn't have a role model. No, there is a role model.
Yeah.
Right? You just have to seek him. And you will find him. But I think that with us, the difference is we want to be living role models. Right? So when they go, Dad, I need a role model. Oh, you do? Yo, come over here. Let me holler at you. You see? Let me talk to you. Like, let me tell you what's up. Let me put you on. And I think that's why ultimately I'm so big with, with my organization, with the kids, because I want them to see a man who, what he says happens, right? How he lives reflects what he says.
Yeah.
They see a standard of a man where they go, there's something different about you. And then if they see that, I know I can get them. Like, yo, listen, let me tell you how I got like this, And now I can point them to the right direction.
Exactly.
But it's definitely one of those things where I hope people really understood our perspective of it, and especially the guys, but even more so, this one, it wasn't a women's podcast per se, but I really want y'all to understand that as men, I can't speak for everybody. Men, we really do care. It's not a facade. Like, it's real. I promise you, it's not a facade. We're not front. Like, I really care. I really care about you keeping your body for yourself. Not in the sense of like, I care about your body. No. In the sense of I know that eventually that self-discipline will lead you to the point where you really want to be. There is no girl or no woman that can tell me that they don't want to be a wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And have a man treat them with that type of respect and love, and like, listen, at the end of the day, you mine. Like, I'm gonna be here for you forever. This death do us part, and I mean that. Like,
for
real.
Know
what I mean? That type of love. And this is definitely one of those things where being self-disciplined, being responsible, holding yourself accountable for these actions will, even if it doesn't seem like it's working, you'll start, that self-love will start to develop 20 times more, right?
You gotta love yourself before you can even let somebody just love you, man. Because then you get stuck on whatever, like, because if they do something, now you start questioning yourself. Nothing someone does should allow you to question yourself. Because you should already have built who I am. Like, I think you've said it before, like, in a relationship, it's not me, I'm half, you're half, and then we become whole. You have to come whole, and they come whole, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's very important, man. That's very important,
man. It was, listen, this was a great conversation. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Definitely.
We really look forward to this one, especially because we're really speaking how we live. This is it's not for play. Like, I don't play when it comes to my family. I don't play when it comes to my mentality. I don't play when it comes to my responsibilities, my integrity. Those things. Anybody who's close to me, and these people who aren't close to me, they could just see it by the way I treat my wife. You know what I'm saying? I take life very seriously. And not in a bad way. Like, not saying I'm not a clown, because I'm really a clown. I'm
we really clowns. We OD.
Nah, it's real. Like, we're really
OD
fools.
clowns.
Something's wrong.
But
at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is that we just want you guys to be at a point where this conversation isn't just me and him having it.
Yeah, it's going over your head. Like,
yeah, I would love this conversation to be with a group of us.
Exactly.
We have the same mentality.
Yeah, that way we hold each other accountable and tell you like, yo, this, like, even, yo, it's to the point where, like, quick story. When I went, I set an appointment for a barber, right? It was for 1 o'clock. I put in my mind, I put 2 o'clock. I get to the appointment at 2 o'clock. And he was like, yo, what happened? I'm like, what happened? He's like, yo, your appointment, you missed your appointment. I'm like, nah. He's like, yo, it's at 1 o'clock. I'm like, nah, you bugging. I looked at my phone and it said 1 o'clock. Bro, but he was like, yo, don't worry about it, just come back later, blah, blah. But for me, like, that bothered me almost the whole day because I said that I was going to be that on the app, I said I was going to be at 1 o'clock, but I came at 2 thinking I was at 2. And that bothered me so much just because I don't ever want it to think like I'm just out here like, oh, I don't really care. It's whatever. I show up when I show up. Like, my integrity at the end of the day, like, it bothered me that much. So it's like, start, like you said earlier, little wins. Start with little things. Like, hold yourself accountable to, I'm going to eat an apple 7 days this week. Right. Little things like that. I'm trying to make it practical for you. Like, little things like, yo, I'm gonna do 10 push-ups every day this month. Like, until it becomes a habit. Then you start doing 20, like, little things. Like, I'm gonna tell my girl I love her every day. Like, once a week. Like, there's some people that have never took time away from Instagram or social media. Take time. Like, we're able to go months without social media. Like, we can't do it now because we want to promote this. But
I mean, we still got a breakup. I do Sunday through Wednesday.
Yeah, and I take the rest of the week.
I take my break. I'm not gonna. I feel you though. Yeah,
you gotta be able to start with little things. Take a day off social media until you're able to do, like, I can do a month. Like, we can do a month like that and just be like, I'm good on social media. Build it little by little. Yeah, man.
Listen, this is a great conversation, man. Yeah. I hope you guys got something out of it. We of course want to thank you guys. All 3 videos together, we're over 1,000 views.
Yes, we appreciate it. We really appreciate it.
That's really dope. Because
really appreciate
who are we? You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, for y'all to watch, man, we really appreciate that because, like, you don't have to. Like, nobody's holding a gun to your head to watch it, but for you to watch it, and I know you don't get views when somebody just click it, so you're watching a good amount.
Yeah,
so
nice.
We really appreciate that. We really appreciate that for real.
We definitely do, and we got a little surprise. It's the 4th episode, right?
Yeah. Next week, we're not gonna tell you. We might have some special guests.
Boy, our wives gonna be on it. I don't care what they talking about.
Bro, why you got it? Bro, why you telling?
Nah, I'm pulling up.
Nah,
shorty.
Nah. There's a possibility. There's a possibility our wives might be on the show, on a podcast. But you know how sometimes women get nervous, so I'm not gonna give you a definite.
You're right. Because I'm
I want to give a definite. Because I'm saying we men are our words. So if we say our wife's gonna be there, we're gonna have to drag them down if they say no.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was gonna put the camera on face like, yo, it doesn't matter. Speak right now.
So there's a huge possibility our wives might be on next week. You don't want to miss it.
God willing.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, sir.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, like, subscribe. Like, do that stuff. Like, subscribe so that way we can subscribe. So that stuff is kind of cool. That makes us feel good. Yeah, comments too. That makes us feel good. You know what I mean? Like, let us know what's up. Like, give us some topics. You feel me? Like,
you want to talk about something, man? Let us know, man.
Listen, stay corona free, stay healthy,
Facts.
and of course we appreciate all you guys.
Thank you.
Please take our words with real thought. And I promise you they come from a genuine place of
genuine,
love.
Genuine, so genuine.
All right, so y'all have a good night, and we will be back next week. We'll holla.
Yep.
Run to the Jordan.